Wow, wow, wow. What an amazing season 3 finale. Wow, folks. Listen, what an amazing Maria, what are you doing here? You don't have to be here. I know a lot of people. Don't worry about it, Maria. Go. I know you haven't finished watching it. Go away. Shoo. I appreciate it. Hello, Medallion. Good to see you. I know there's not going to be a lot of people here because a lot of people are have gone to bed, and a lot other people are avoiding because they haven't been able to watch it yet. And those are friends across the ponds have not watched it yet, most of them. So, but listen, wow, wow! I just wanted to give my first reaction. It's been very hard to do this season, but it's the last episode, so I want to give an initial reaction right after the episode. I gotta say, hello, Rapunzel. Hello, Todd. Good to see you. Some people, last week it was funny because last week we couldn't get to bed at we couldn't sleep after watching it, right? And I'm actually kind of the same way. I can't sleep after watching it. So no, we're not still live. I've gone live. We've gone live again, Todd. Um, uh, if you guys want to say spoilers, I'm fine. I'm not going to say any, but if you guys say them, that's okay. But let's keep it to a minimum though, because I'm sure people are gonna. Yeah, we'll keep it to a minimum. Spoilers to a minimum, but yeah, if you guys want to say something, just try to be maybe more general. Good to see all you guys. Todd Medallion, JRC99. Um, hey, I know you guys are busy out there, JRC. But listen, wow. I just want to say it was an incredibly well put together episode. Um, the best way to describe this episode, it was extremely well written and extremely well put together. Lots of intricate pieces fitting together. Hello, Joe. Good to see you again. Oh, you're just going to start the episode? Well, you might want to leave because yeah, you go enjoy the episode. You don't want to hang around here, Joe. Um, um, so go enjoy the episode. Listen, just very well put together, very thoughtful, very thoughtful. I want to say fan service. It's very thoughtful fan service, but it wasn't just fan service. It all made a lot of sense, and it opened up a couple of doors that were it opened up a couple of doors from the past, which were very interesting. I really, really liked some of the doors that were opened up. I really liked some of the doors that were opened up. It was you could even say there were some member berries, but good member berries in this episode. Um, it was a great connection in the first season. Absolutely. And yeah, and returning guests, especially at the end. Yeah. It was thoughtful. It was yes, spoiler. We must talk about yeah, if you haven't seen it, go away, guys, because there might be some comments. I'm gonna try not to say anything, but um go have fun, Joe. Go have fun, man. Go watch that episode. And yes, hello, Nihilist Shadow. Um Nihilist Shadow. It this has been an incredible season. I've been seeing you posting on Twitter, Shadow. Um that one door opening surprised me so good. Says Rapunzel. Yeah, I call the return of you know who, JRC99 says. Yeah, it was just such a pleasure to watch. It was listen, this season we have had it all. Seth and crew have stepped things up, and not only have they stepped things up, and we're very comfortable where they have taken us, but they also know how to pull it back and have, especially the hardcore Orville fans who've been there since day one. You know how have the longtime fans really appreciate everything, and we do need episodes like this that are more lighthearted. Um, I think that Seth has found a wonderful mix of, um, you know, pushing forward in certain directions and exploring in other directions as far as episodes. I mean, um, and um, and at the same time conserving, this. How do I say it? I don't know what are the right words. These more let's say old school Orville episodes, which are so much fun. And since the characters are more evolved, and they've developed more, this episode, every once in a while having an episode like this is so important and so much fun. I personally really appreciated this episode as a fan. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was probably one of the best written episodes of the series. Um, and let's see what you guys are saying. Um, I know, can't wait to get it on Blu-ray. Got to get the Orville trending. I saw renew the Orville trending earlier. Absolutely, yeah. We got to get that. We got to get all that trending, and and a return of Kale on primary. Um, very few shows can leave you hopeful, satisfied, and full, and still hungry for more. Very well said, Rapunzel. Yeah. Um, yeah, we're you guys can say a couple of things, but don't say too much because and yes, the egg salad sandwich. Um I gotta say, listen, they did a really good job. I I'm the I really felt like I wanted to do this. I saw a few people, I saw a few channels streaming, and I saw a couple. This one friend who was just trolling with clickbait, just trolling Orville fans with clickbait. So I said, "Listen, we got to come here and celebrate again because we've seen the episode. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It deserves to be talked about. It deserves that PJ stays up all night tonight. Yeah, amazing, amazing. Yeah, I am on the East Coast again, and I'm not in Europe now, and I'm staying up all night tonight. Um, talking about the Orville. Hashtag the hell out of it, people. Yes, gotta have season 4. Oh my god. Yeah. How could you not give this a season 4? Well, since you mentioned Kalen Primary, his role in this episode was great for some unexpected humor. It was. It was. And um yeah. Ah, I'm gonna try and figure out how to comment on that without saying too much. I want 500 more seasons. I thought Isaac did some really funny things this episode. Um, some things he did without knowing he was doing them. Um, Orville universe, yes, the Orville expanded universe. We will have that. The OEU guys. We will have that someday. We will have that. The Orville deserves it. Just a wonderful. By the way, I also walked away. I walked away from this episode with a very spiritual, very nice feeling from this episode. They really wrapped up the season well and left it open, but also gave it closure. Yeah, there was closure for the season, but there's also so much. You will be silent. Oh, Medallion. Yes, I read you. No sleep for PJ tonight. No, man, this was too good. This was too good. Do you think Seth could manage a whole universe? He might need to bring in Joe Malazzi for a show. Oh man, I would love to see a Joe Malazzi episode of the Orville one day. Um, there is one talented. I know we're totally biased with Joe, but we're biased for a reason. Yeah, I've been doing the Orville. I'm doing the or hashtag Orville in Espanol. Listen, um, Maria and I we've been looking at social media and we're finding, yeah, people, even though they're watching it with subtitles, it's got to get dubbed first in a lot of these countries. But even watching it with subtitles, the Orville is still picking up a lot of fans. In it's for example in Spanish and in Latin America, Spanish and Portuguese fans. Um, yes, El Orville. Yes, we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing La Nacion Orville. I've been putting it off because I just don't have time. And it's the most important. It's like doing it in Spanish has been secondary. But we have to do it in Spanish. We have to do it in Spanish because nobody's doing it in Spanish, and we got to do it in Spanish because we see there is movement. There is movement in, like Maria and I were doing research this last week, and we see it. It's moving. It's starting to move, and once they get it dubbed, yeah, yep. This could use the Zen priest. I think Maria wants to be on the Orville now. There is so much more Orville needs to explore. The Krill Maklan Alliance, the Shaktal, yeah, the spider creatures. There is so much more. Yes, Nyla Shadow. Um, so much more. So much more. The multiphasic gods. Yes. Hey, Ben Thatcher. Good to see you. I've been up on the Portal stream now. I know you tell me with this. Yeah. Well, listen, yeah, I wonder what Norporial's thinking. Um, he's had a little trouble with some episodes this year, but I think he's overall liking it very much. And has been canonized. Katie's weather forecast has been canonized by Tom. Yeah. Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I wonder what yeah. Hey Jill, what's up? Go. Just I don't want to mean to keep you up, Jill. How are you doing? Good to see you. I think there is many ocular was many an ocular loja at the end. There is no Orville presence in Discord either. Yeah, there's so many areas for the Orville to grow. And it's, it's up to the fans to help them grow in a lot of those areas, like you're talking about Discord, for example. I don't Discord gives me problems. I don't know why. Maybe it's my computer. I don't know what it is. Um, don't dislike it, but um, well, since the pandemic is essentially over, I believe season 4 will have more episodes next round. Yeah, well, I think, um, yeah, hopefully we'll have a couple more episodes in season 4. Um, it was a lovely finale. It was frivolous but funny and sweet and good-hearted. I like the Prime Directive aspect. Loved 6 out of 10 episodes, says Jill. Okay. Okay. How can we thank Seth and Tom and everyone for the gift they're giving us this season? It was so amazing. Yeah, it was so amazing. It was mm, this Seth said it very well at Comic-Con. He said this is like, I think he said something like it ties everything together, right? And for sure this episode ties everything together, and it's at the same time opening up a few doors. I wish I could talk about it. I love some of this. I love some of the doors they opened up with the characters they opened up with the planets they visited. Um, they really went to a good place in exploring their own canon. Um, and yeah, we're definitely gonna see more exploration. Hopefully without COVID, we will definitely see more online location shooting, and for sure exploration. Yeah, exploration would make sense to be an important component. They have a lot to explore, but exploration in itself is definitely have to be an important component of future Orville. This episode felt most like season 1 and 2, but it points out how disjointed season 3 is. Doesn't feel like one continuous season. Um, hmm. That's interesting, Ben. That's interesting. I'm really interested, Ben, in I want to wait a little bit before doing it, but I'm really interested in doing a binge watch now a binge watch of season 3. And it's really interesting you should say that. I actually thought for the first part of the season, I actually thought for a minute that we were in an alternate timeline, for real. And I think that went away. But I hear what you're saying. I think that I understand a lot better what they're trying to do. And I gotta say, now that we have seen this other side, or a couple of more than one side, but a couple of other sides to the Orville, um, now that we've seen more than a couple of other sides to the Orville, I I I appreciate, I have new appreciation for the first episode of season 3. In these last at toward the end of um season 3. I think we can appreciate the more serious tone and the more action type tone of some episodes, and the more intricate and complex tone of other episodes. I think that they did some really interesting exploration of tone this season, and I'd really be interested to to gauge my own reaction and other people's reaction to doing a binge watch. That's going to be interesting. I think that, see, there's a lot of concern with people, with fans. There was a lot of concern with fans about a lot of stuff. There was a lot of concern if they've gotten rid of the humor. There was a lot of concern of as people. I mean, I wasn't worried about this, but some people were worried if it was going to be agenda driven, maybe because they were under the Disney umbrella. People were worried about that. People were worried about a whole bunch of different things. If simply it's just like because it was more successful, if it would change, if it would not be true to itself. Now that season 3, and this is one of the reasons I would tell people to watch the whole season, and even for for all of us, we should all watch even for myself, if for all of us, we have to watch the whole season. Now that a lot of those concerns have been alleviated, in my opinion, for many people, I think a binge watch of season 3 is going to be real interesting. The renewal ceremony, you got to chase that season. You got to chase that season 4, but I am sure we'll get it and aggressively mate with it. Very funny, Medallion. Yes, we're definitely getting season 4 for sure. The Orville would. I think it was very evident at Comic-Con that there is an intention for season 4, and I think I probably personally think it's a done deal. Disney Hulu would be absolutely insane. They would be effing insane not to renew the show for so many reasons. Ben Thatcher, it felt a little like these Disney Plus shows that have a different writer director for every episode. Well, that's interesting. Instead of I'm even though we had like just Seth and John directing everything, right? But I see what you mean. But the difference in tone was really more like Seth and the writing teams experimenting primarily a little bit. And and it's not only experimenting, but I think they were also trying to establish Seth and Kelly as more they were trying to also establish Seth and Kelly as more serious officers. And the fact that they had really been brought into their roles as captain and first officer. I think that once we've been taken there, we can relax a little bit. I mean in terms of writing, once we've been taken there and we like Seth is not Seth. I don't mean Seth. Ed Mercer is not a goofball. And maybe he was a little goofy at the beginning because he thought he didn't even deserve to be there, and Kelly got him the job and whatever. But Seth. Ed has proven himself, right? Ed has proven himself. Kelly's proven herself too. And now that we've explored all this, they don't need to. I think what I'm trying to say is I think season 3 was very pivotal in as far as growth for Ed and Kelly. I think that we can. I think one of the things Seth. I keep saying Seth. Ed's sense of humor. I think Ed's sense of humor, because even though you're the captain and there's more mature role and you're more serious and stuff, I think within that framework, his Ed's sense of humor can be explored. Though every episode does actually manage to be good, even though it's so different. Yeah, each episode is good. Yeah. Lots of plot holes left over in this season left, but at least we got an egg salad sandwich. Okay. Yeah. And Jill thinks there's a lot of plot holes. What did y'all think of Lysella changing her hair color? I almost didn't recognize her at first. I thought I didn't think she looked that different. You're right. She did look a little different, her hair color. I think it was great. I think it was great to see her. She was pretty. I liked her hair. I didn't really think much of it. Yeah, she looked a little bit different, but not too different. Binge watch party. Yeah. One of the things I don't want to do binge watch. I don't want to do watch parties right now until we get the Orville until the Orville is renewed. I know you can do watch parties, and I know that they count. Um, but I think there's limits. OMG, PJ, stop keeping me up. Go to sleep, Maria. Go to sleep, you goofball. Go to sleep. Um, you haven't even seen the episode. You're gonna hear. Look. Todd's already giving things away here. You may as well go to sleep, or otherwise you're gonna hear something else. I wonder that Kayla and Primary brought Isaac and Claire a go to sleep, Maria. I'm not gonna read Todd's comment. Go to sleep, Maria. It's been so long since I've seen that episode, but it was also good to see her. I'm just not reading it, Todd, because Maria hasn't seen it. And I want to go to sleep. It's been so long since I've seen that episode, but it was also good to see her again. Yeah, and so I'm sorry. I know I'm reading like a dunce, but I have this program that helps you learn languages, and I don't turn it off for some reason because it's too complicated to turn it off, and it's screwing me up while I'm reading the super chats. I mean, the super chats, comments in the chat, and how it sort of tested Prime Directive aspect of the show. Yeah, the Prime Directive of the show, and we'll see what they're going to call it. They haven't really given it a name, have they? But it was very well described. It was very well portrayed and considered in this episode. I still say that we're in an alternate universe, Jill. Jill, I was thinking that for the beginning of I agree. I was thinking that for the first half of the season. I was thinking that the tone change, and I saw Ed in particular be very different, and I do hope we get a little bit more in season 4. I hope we get a little more Ed. I think Seth was very selfless. I think we got just enough Ed, but I think he was also very selfless in writing for him. He was writing a lot. There was great universe building in this season and character development of many characters. I kind of wish they'd pushed it further though. Yeah, with a Prime Directive aspect of the show. I guess we'll get that down the road, Medallion, right? Hey, Sir Goosey, good to see you. Good to see you. Hello, Fi. Good to see you, Falcons Maze. They didn't get rid of the humor. They just put it all in the last episode. There was more. There's two aspects here, in my opinion, Jill. One is there's definitely less humor this season. And two is that the episodes are longer. So because the episodes are longer, in my opinion, the humor that they do put in might be more diluted with respect because the episodes are longer. That's so I think there's both of those things are going on. The humor was later, but was still there and more organic than really overly silly humor. It was, you know what? It was very organic, Medallion. In many ways, I thought this episode was a very perfect episode. This was a very perfect episode in so many ways. I thought it was really, like I said at the beginning, it was very well put together. It was very well written. So many puzzles, pieces of the puzzle fitting together. It was there, but really only Isaac made me laugh at times. It felt flat mostly. This during the season, Jill. I think Jill means Isaac with the nipple tassels. Yeah, was that Isaac? I guess it was Isaac, right? Yeah, I guess it was Isaac. Comedy and tragedy are reality. TOS Trek is the same. Comedy and tragedy are reality. Yeah, they are. They are fine. Absolutely. But the humor in this episode was great. Yeah, this episode was wow. This episode was wow. I compare this to Enterprise season 4, where they had to get all their 6 seasons. Oh, of bit stories out in one season, so each episode ends up disjointed from previous. That's an interesting way to view it, Ben. That's an interesting way to view it. Maybe there's some of that. Maybe there is some of that. Maybe putting a lot into some of these episodes, perhaps. I still think they did a good job. Uh, sorry, Seth had to wrap up things just in case there was no season 4. There is definitely season 4, in my opinion. I understand what you're saying, though, Ben. So it couldn't be spaced out organically. I, you know what? I understand. I understand what you're saying. War is real. We don't have to take ourselves so seriously. Yeah. Hey, now it says Ed was captain of a low-level exploratory vessel and was a bit laid back, but the Orville since been at the center of major conflicts and diplomatic importance. He has hardened and matured. Absolutely, yeah. They've been ever since, especially ever since like Identity, like because they had Isaac on their ship, right? They were dragged into center stage. They were dragged into center stage. Claire coming at Lamar. I have expected he would get more broken bones for a different reason than with Tala. Yeah, that was funny. It was great. You know, there was that we all right, how did this episode opens doors to episodes and an episode in season 1 where John Lamar was very goofy and got him in trouble. And um again, he's getting in trouble. So I thought that was I thought that was great to see John Lamar getting in trouble again. I thought it was um interesting. And hey Hargrave, good to see you. I find the season frustrating as hell. The last episode we got this awesome war worthy of going to the theater. Then this episode, it's this or then this episode, it's this. Are you kidding me? So Hargrave did not like this episode. This episode had a lot for longtime Orville fans, I think. Um, and So I guess Hargrave did not connect with this episode all that much. Girls change their hair. It happens, particularly when you are on Twitter world. Yeah, absolutely. Maria, you still awake? Go to sleep already. Go to sleep already, Buddhist priestess. Um, you can see, yeah, you can see his growth. You can see his growth. You know what? And now that you see the whole season, now that you see the whole season, Ed makes more sense. Ed's changes makes more sense. He's been dragged into the middle of he's become one of the most important captains. The Orville has become a very important ship. Um and It's the whole in the context of the whole season. um I think the rewatch is going to be very enjoyable. In the context of the whole season, Ed's development makes a lot of sense. um Yeah, we don't want to get too many spoilers. Mighty, go to sleep. Go to sleep. I'm sorry, I didn't know this wasn't a spoiler review. Like, yeah, we're trying not to. Some people have said a few things. Don't worry. Some people have said a few things, but um, uh, be very general if you guys talk about stuff. Um, as an alternate Trek universe, all we got from Kelly was it's against the law. So I interpret that as a lot of separate laws and regulations rather than a single. Um, I'm sorry. I should turn this off. Rather than a single easily bypassed directive. Hmm. Okay. Um, I okay. I'm just rereading, Ben, what you wrote. Um, yes, and you know what? A single prime directive, as in Star Trek, might be. I've always thought it might be oversimplifying things. From my point of view. And yeah, that might be a good point, Ben. Um, who makes the law? Phi says Union Council. Excuse me. Um, I am the Lawrence shoe. But this finale had the most humor throughout. It certainly did. That wasn't Isaac. It was simulated. You don't do a stripper dance with your fiance. Yeah. The only thing was he. I think some people said it was Isaac, and I didn't. I said yeah, it can't be Isaac, but he had. I think it's true. He had blue eyes. Um, but yeah, it might not be Isaac. You can thank Les Moonves. Les Moonves. Oh, jeez. Um, fucking Labyrinth. Um, I feel like a lot of people would be disappointed for this episode being more dramatic than spectacular, but I guess I'm just in a very good mood tonight because I enjoyed it. Jill, everyone I've talked to really enjoyed it. Adega loved this episode, by the way. He was primarily, he was kind of saying like the same thing I did. Um, and as far as how well, you know, I think he thought it was well put together. Um, he went to bed though, so I can't quote him. It plays with predictable show formula to have our biggest episode in the finale, but we had it in the penultimate. This was a more low key, but in many ways, Medallion, yeah, it was more low key and intimate, and character driven, ballsy. It, I actually think what they did was perfect because we had that bang of an episode in the penultimate episode, and then this episode did so much for this episode did a lot of fan service. It did so much as a character driven episode. It did so much for the characters. It brought back characters plural. It brought back characters. um I know everybody who hasn't seen it's going to be thinking Charlie. But um I mean, that last episode I must have watched 10 times now, and that huge war. This episode should have been them negotiating on the Krill and Mocklins get into following of that war. The aftermath of that war. I understand. The thing is that okay, so real life, um, you know, I think that like certain periods of Star Trek, for example, like with DS9 with the Dominion War, and even like regular with the against the Borg, regular TNG against the Borg, and like it can be uh if it's always wartime, it doesn't it might not feel, I don't know. I think they're trying to mix things up. There's times of war and there's times of not war, and of course times of war can be prolonged. But yeah, I think they're trying to. I think we're trying to see different facets of this future universe. Future Unknown felt like family from TNG. It did. That's a good JRC. Good, that's a good analogy. Right after the Best of Both Worlds Part Two, um, where the war is won, and now the Orville can reflect on it. Did in that sense, JRC. Yeah, that is a good point. I agree. I wanted some resolution with the Mocklins and Krill. Definitely a good point that crossed my mind last time. And I am mostly disappointed Ed didn't save Anaya. Listen, yeah, all those things. See, I disagree. There's closure here, but I disagree that Ed, no, Seth in this case. I disagree that Seth I get them. Okay, I'm mixing them up all the time. I gar- I guarantee that Seth has always been thinking season 4. Always. I personally think that. I argue that Ed doesn't need to save Anaya. She was in good hands from the caretakers Talia hired. Talia was um, never there for the child. She just watches her through a remote screen. That's true, actually. Oh, Shadow, thanks, man. How you doing? Good to see you. Orville Nation, you were a driving force for the renewal of the Orville, and this last episode was not a cliffhanger, but a series finale. But not, I'm sorry, was not a cliffhanger, but not a series finale, in my opinion. Very cerebral. Yeah, thank you for your kind words, Shadow. I listen. I totally agree. This is not a series finale. This was a nice ending to. This was a nice ending. I'll tell you what this was. This is a nice ending to a season 3 and a much awaited season 3 because we waited 3 years for this. And that's why you can tell that Seth and the writers are really thinking about the fans with some of the when they're writing this. They're really thinking about the fan service. Thank you so much, Shadow Man. And Shadow, whenever if you ever get that channel up and going, I want you to talk to me, man. Because we got to get that, we got to promote that channel, man. If you ever do that, a prime directive means the top most important law. They're probably a collection of laws. That's true. That's true, Rapunzel. You're right. It's just you're right. You're right. You're right, Rapunzel. Um, it's just I was just thinking that we just never hear about some of the other. I've always thought about the what's the secondary directive, right, or the tertiary directive. But you're absolutely right. There's got to be a lot more there. There's got to be a lot more meat there, Rapunzel. Thank you for bringing that to that point up. 30 minutes in, they seems to be tidying up loose ends, but just leaving a few major storyline if season 4 happens. Going back to dude, yeah, get out of here, Joe. Go. That's right. Go enjoy the rest of that episode. Thanks for mentioning for dropping in a comment, Joe. Go enjoy the rest of that episode, my friend. Have a good time. You are gonna love it. In my opinion, you're gonna enjoy it. This episode was definitely made in such a way that it is the series finale. Made in such a way that if it is the series finale, it's wrapped most things up. You don't have to have a cliffhanger to build uh, suspense and hype. If it were the series finale, um, there's a lot of stuff tied up. But like I still think that for the fans, like there's no, I mean they just in case they did a good job in that one. What you're saying, Ben. Um, Laws are subjective, says Phi. The Orville's prime directive isn't well defined. In season 2, they made contact with the astrology people, even the astrology planet, yeah, even though they appeared no more or less advanced than the majority planet rule. What was it again? They had yeah, but they had achieved um like some kind of space flight level of space flight, I think, right? They don't seem much more advanced. Yeah, they're maybe what, a couple decades more advanced than the majority rules people. You're right, Nihilus. Rest in peace, Charlie. Yeah, we're gonna miss Charlie. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see, but we'll see. There's Charlie can come back in so many different. Um, there's always really interesting ways to bring a character back for like an episode or two. And even it might not need to be like it might not need to be it might not need be the that the character is back to life, right? But it might be on the simulator. It might be, there's all kinds of ways. That's what I was thinking when I said I was trying not to spoil, thinking about who came back. Charlie. Um, there was so much action in the previous episode. You need time for characters to reflect and breathe. I'm sorry. There was so much action in the previous episode. You needed time for our characters to reflect and breathe to wrap up their storylines. That's why you know what, from a writing standpoint, I totally agree with that, Medallion. That's there's a lot to process, and there's a lot to process. A lot. I'm sorry. There's a lot happening in episode 9, and it doesn't give the characters time to close to give themselves. It doesn't give time for the characters to get closure for the season. I agree. I wanted Charlie to stay. This new character they brought is meh. She's not new though. I mean, technically she's not new. I actually, listen, I actually think it's I hear you, Shadowman. We'll see where they go, because she's not part of, I mean, at least not at first. I mean, we will see later on. She's not part of like Planetary Union. Like she's not like an officer or a crewman. We'll see. We'll see where they go with her. But anyway, Shadowman's a little meh on the new arrival. Russians and Germans had a treaty before World War II that worked out well. This episode felt like an epilogue. Yeah, you could say that. The previous episode was epic and tragic, so we needed a time to unwind and spend time with the characters, like Worf and Yadzia's wedding after taking DS9. Yeah. And also, this episode also gives us a glimpse. Excuse me. This episode also gives us a glimpse at some of the consequence, at some of the positive consequences of episode 9. Let me just say that. Seth says, oh, I see your previous comment. Russians, Germans had a treaty, and before, yeah, and that changed. Worry that Joe, get out of here. Go. Worry that season 4 might be far away, and they might do an actual film to finish off. Girls are back watching the episode. Okay, yeah, go back to watching the episode, Joe. I don't know. Listen, I think it's not, but it could be. I think we're gonna see. I should probably catch up with the chat. Oh, I'm actually not that far. Let's see. Yes, I'm just about ready, Revelation. Okay. All right, guys. There's Jill's channel. If you are not subbed to Jill, go ahead and sub to Antiderivative Jill. The expenditure and good night, Jill. Have a good night. Jill is going. I think. Yeah, she said you're going to bed. Good night, Jill. Thank you for dropping by. The expenditure on those sets alone says that renewal is likely. It's like they rebooted the show. I totally agree with that. This IP could become more successful in Star Wars if they play it right. Oh yeah, it has, absolutely. And they've been more. They have been. They've done a lot. They've done a lot with what they had. They've done so much with what they've had. The astrology people had sent a radio signal out to the star to the stars to say hello. But they did. Was it just the radio signal, Ben? Yeah, I know. This autocorrect is a pain. Was it just the radio signal? You might be right. I think you're right, Ben. I think you're right, Ben. Or maybe it was just the radio signal. My prime directive is no hate. It's Vulcan. It's Vulcan. But I can express good vibes. Prime directive. Don't be an asshole. That is my prime directive as well, Fi. And I don't understand. To be honest, I don't understand when people are assholes. It makes no sense to me. There was no new character. They're returning from the season 1. Yeah, there's no new character yet. There's a new addition. You might say there's a new addition, but there's no new character. I'm addition to the ship. I would like to see Lysella run a coffee shop in the Orville to stick around. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see her at Muska's. Maybe it should be coffee and drinks, work in the lounge at Muska's. Ben, good night. Thank you for hanging out. Have a good night, Ben. Thank you so much for hanging out, man. And yes, please sub to King Dolphin, of course. Please sub to King Dolphin, guys. Raymond. He's 4 from 200. We'll make sure if he's 4 from 200. Raymond is a really good guy. Please sub to both of those channels, and get Raymond to 400. He only needs 4 more. Good night, Jill. Thank you for putting in Raymond's channel. I appreciate that. I wonder if Lysella will begin studying the sciences to try again. Yeah. Gordon got the sandwich. Joe's like still sticking his head in here. Yeah, good call on the epilogue. Absolutely. So let me just give me one sec. And let me do one thing. Let me do one thing. All right. Interesting. Okay, sorry, give me one sec, guys. And all right, so I'm just gonna keep talking for a while because it's a special night, and I think it's a night of celebration. It's a morning of celebration. If you're just waking up in certain parts of the world, mostly in Europe, Middle East, if you guys are just waking up there, the Orville episode 10 was fantastic. You're going to go want to watch that, and it will not disappoint you. There we go. Alrighty. So Todd says, Todd's had a blast in season 3. Interesting. He's really enjoyed it. Interesting translation is that from decoding code letters, the subtitles spell it Talea. Where are you seeing this, Todd? Where are you seeing this? Oh, I just forgot. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, you spelled it Talea before, right? Yeah, so this was a great ending to the season. It's so inevitable when you see this episode to think about season 4, and when you see when you see okay, when you see um this episode, if you guys are just tuning in, you're gonna, if you're somebody who's been, watching the episode, watching the Orville since season one, you're gonna feel, it's gonna feel like it's really gonna feel like a homecoming. It's gonna feel like you're coming home. It's gonna feel very comfortable. It's gonna feel just a great pullback into what many people feel is a very traditional Orville episode. And at the same time, see, there's the part of the genius of season three is that even though, and some people, even, you know what, yeah, and this is, I really feel like you need to see all of season three to understand it, because there were episodes when we're not completely understanding the direction until we close the season out and see, and we've seen the completeness. Wow. Okay, this is what we're not getting sleep. When you see all of season three, you're you're starting to feel the true intentions of the season. And yes, hashtag renew the Orville, guys. Politics are inevitable, says Fi. Are there politics? There's, I guess there's, you could say there's politics in everything. And hello, Celine. Good to see you. Good to see you, Celine. Celine, if you haven't seen the Orville yet, I think it's morning for you. I think you're going to love it. Good to see you. Good morning. And or good morning. It's almost yeah, it depends. It's almost late morning there for you, huh? And Shadow says I've already rewatched the previous episodes at least once. And Celine says she's going to watch later. Shadow, I'm going to wait for a little bit, and then I'm going to wait for a little bit, and The Ring is mine. Does that mean, Fi, that you've rewatched them more than anybody? Is that what you mean? Like the championship ring? Is that what that means? I think that I'm really curious to see reactions, mostly from myself, but with everybody. I want to see how I gauge a binge rewatch of everything together after I let a couple weeks go by. I'm gonna let a couple weeks go by, do a binge rewatch of everything. Actually, maybe I won't let that long go by. I will do a binge rewatch. So, well, it's going to be a very busy month at work, but I'm very curious to see how I perceive it. And one of the most important things about the rewatch, like I was saying, is that some of the concerns, many of the concerns for many of the people, excuse me, are going to be calmed down a lot. A lot of people were worried about season three for this reason, for that reason. Is it the last season? Is it going to change? Is it going to get woke? Is it going to this or that? Is it going to whatever? And watching the Orville without so many concerns, watching on a binge watch without so many concerns, I think is going to be very helpful. I think it's going to do. I think it's going to do the season a lot of good. I also think that there's a lot of episodes, not all, but there's the majority of episodes in this season are extremely rewatchable. And some are very, very rewatchable. Rewatchability um, is a great marker for science fiction. And the only reason I would say that some episodes might not, the couple of episodes for me, might not be that rewatch. Like, for example, the very first episode for me, because it's a little darker toned, for personally, for me, it's a little, has less rewatchability for me because it's, well, I don't know, maybe it's because of what I mean, it was a mental health episode. I actually thought it was done very well. Maybe it's because I work around in mental health and stuff. Maybe I just don't want to see it in my entertainment every day. So I've seen it. I've seen that episode like 3 times actually, the first one. Um, so, but most of the episodes were extremely rewatchable. Nyla says there are politics, but I think it's well balanced. It is well balanced. For example, the crew obviously sided with the female Moglins, but Ed isn't afraid to call their leader out and their methods. I think it's very, very well balanced. Yeah, Nihilus, absolutely. Um, and I think that some of those concerns some people had at a certain point in time in the very in what we would this listen this episode, well, now that the season's finished, we can say this season was very much about coexistence. Absolutely, in many ways it's very much about coexistence. And I think in some of those middle acts, especially episode 4, it really got us to feel that how divided, it really got us to feel how divided we can be. Ashna Gimbatul. Okay. You lost me. I'm not sure what that means, Fi. I should probably know it. I lost my nerd card with Fi. Yes, that would be great. I'm going to do that myself. Oh, the binge watch, I think you're talking about, right? And yeah, that binge watch is going to be good. It's going to be a good thing. Same, Ceciline. I think I'm going to have to agree with the sentiment that the first half of the season, while good, the show just got better. Oh yeah, the show, absolutely, for me, absolutely gets better. Absolutely, yeah, it gets better, and there's nothing wrong. I don't know. Does it really? It feels like the show really feels like like it finds its rhythm. It's getting in the zone. There's nothing wrong in the first part of the season, but it really finds its some high points right in the second half. It's been said, hey Abergem, it's been said for me to see many of my favorite tubers who were over fans turn against it this season. Was a change of tune for sure, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, and let me just say, Aberjam, I've had, I know there's a couple of colleagues, a couple of YouTubers. Actually, let me just say, there's all kinds of different opinions on that. My friend, and I will only speak. I only speak about Anti-Trekker on this channel. Salty Trekker. My friend over there, he is hey, he's doing it for clickbait. He likes it. That's my opinion. And he just likes to be abrasive. There are some other people who did not like it. And for different reasons. Then there's other people, but I'm sorry, some bug. There's I do want to say that there's really not there's a few people with very loud voices. Let me just say that. Average. I think that a lot of people are appreciating it. And there's a few people with very loud voices. But most people have really appreciated it. And I gotta say that some people who say they didn't like it, when they're comparing it to other stuff out there, they're still very much appreciating it. There was a lot of experimental episodes in the first half of the season, so maybe polarizing upon first watch. Yeah, I think that's well put, Medallion. That first watch, if you're if there's a little doubt in your mind about direction, that first watch of this, that first run through of a couple of those first episodes can really make you think about it. And it got me thinking about it. Um, wow, like, you know, is there something going on here that they're not telling us? Is this an alternate timeline because of that last last two episodes of season two? Is there more going on here? Um but in the context of the entire season, and this is so important to watch the entire season, in the context of the entire season, and minus the context of worrying about direction of the Orville, um, that rewatch is gonna be is really gonna it's really going to be good. That rewatch of season 3 is going to be great. Most shows today I can't watch. Others I will probably watch only once. The Orville is rewatchable. Absolutely, I totally agree. Fi. Yep, it's rewatchable. Very rewatchable. You know, to me, the fact that these episodes have more content, they're all at least an hour long, basically, pretty much. Uh, um, the fact that they have that much more content also makes it more rewatchable to me, because there's more moments that you may have missed, and there's um more stuff to look at. So I agree. Interesting. Your Avatar, the Squatter Man. Do you know too? Ah, bonding. um Tokyo Trekker, how you doing, bud? Yeah, listen, I saw it. I enjoyed it. And I really wanted to come on talk about it. And thank you for joining us, Tokyo Trekker. I'm sorry it was so hectic before, but listen, we literally got 20 some odd people. I think it was like 25 people on that stream. We had 25 people on the panel. Something 24. I don't know how much it was exactly. 24 maybe. 24 people on the panels. Thank you for being one of them, Tokyo Trekker. That's what I wanted. I really wanted people. And listen, to the comments before Aberjam about some people not liking. Listen, there's always going to be people who don't like stuff. There, even really high quality stuff. There's people who aren't going to like it, or they're not giving it the attention they desire. Before we had panel of like 24 or 25 people on, and they were all it was very positive, very and there's all kinds of opinions on that panel. By the way, on that panel there was some people who didn't like a couple episodes at the beginning of the season. So there's all kinds of opinions and all kinds of guests on that panel, but they were all loving the Orville. Hey, Moira, good to see you, my friend Moira. Good to see you, Moira. How's the politics life going? Um, yeah, dude. Uh, Listen, um, there's two things going on there, Nyla Shadow. Um, the one is, uh, some people are so some people who are great Trek fans are so desperate to enjoy Trek, that they're extremely open minded, to uh, you know to just they're too open minded. So I think that's part of the reason, and the other part is that he kind of fakes it a little bit, and he wants to be devil's advocate a lot. So um, I think he's in, and Andy Tricker's a great human being. He's a great guy, but don't know what he's doing with the Orville. So I love the uses. I've used this logo for thousands of years. Says fine. um, I got a little annoyed with those who complain that the comedy is gone, like season one. It isn't gone. It's just more nuanced, like it was in Star Trek. But whatever. Yeah, like it was in Star Trek. That's a good point, actually, Shadow. Um, the thing is, though, that because the Orville was more, but listen, the Orville is still more than Trek as far as comedy goes. We've had, and it's not just this episode. You can see the comedy. It's a little different, but you can see it. You can see it, and especially once the characters are developed. There's so many little. Once the characters are developed, there's so many interesting ways to characters can play off each other to be funny, right? Yeah, that's a good point, Shadow. Thank you. I really enjoyed this season. Says Tokyo Trekker. Gently Falling Rain and the time travel episode are on my list of favorites. I love the time travel episode. And listen, the time travel episode is really a two-parter because it goes back to that first Laura Huggins episode, right? With the phone and the time capsule and then the cigarettes. Listen, it was great. I love that episode. The finale was kind of empty because we have a huge unresolved issue that needs tying up. Well, there's stuff that's been tied up and there's stuff that hasn't, right? And there's stuff that, well, you know what? What we need is season 4 of Tokyo Trekker. Is it topology you guys are talking about? I used to know about that stuff. I was a math major for a while. It was a great panel today. We had a lot, but it was very well done. It was to be from my point of view, it was a little chaotic, but thanks Tokyo Trekker and thanks to everybody's patience. There may have been one or two people who were not able to get in, and I don't know if they tried or not. I want to talk to them. I hope everybody got in. Yeah, we had probably like 24, 25 people. Assuming the season was filmed in order. And by the way, we had Katie. We had to spend some time with Katie because she had done such a great job. It had been so long since she had done a fandom forecast, and we love those. We love those from Katie. I'm a big fan of those, so we needed to address that. Aberjam, assuming the season was filmed in order, it felt to me like it started as the 2 Star Trek that McFarlane always wanted to make, but he realized midway that the tone season was peak Orville. Aberjam, they did a lot of, I think the right terminology is block shooting. I think they were shooting different parts of different episodes. Like they were jointly shooting, and this was the reason I think that they had the same directors. They were co-directing John and Seth. They were joint shooting a lot of stuff. Yeah. I don't necessarily think that the order. No, and they had all this. They had most of the scripts done. They may have changed something due to COVID. They may have made some decisions, but I don't think the order of the filming affected. I don't think it affected too much. Maybe COVID affected a little bit. I'm not sure. Well, we'll find out. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to Tom at some point. Maybe one day we'll even talk to Seth. Who knows? There's nothing wrong with the Orville getting more serious. Reality creates humor to deal with tragedy. Rewatch TOS. That is a good point, Fi. Yeah. People cannot let go of how the show was sold. People still advertise this season as a parody of Star Trek as the tagline, and thus sets false expectations. True. At the same time, Medallion. Let me finish your comment. I heard that line from multiple interviews with the cast members. Oh yeah, totally. You saw that. Absolutely. At the same time, I really feel, and it may have been partially inadvertently, but I really feel like Seth had caught, especially like toward the end of season 1 and for most of season 2, all of season 2. I really feel like they had caught magic in a bottle, with this kind of a little bit of this this dramedy component. And I think the Orville's growing up. They've added more components to it. Listen, you know what I think about it, Medallion. I don't know if you guys can relate to this in the chat, but I think about Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan would, when he was developing as a player, he was great at dunking, and then he came back and then he came back from an off season, and he was really great at his shooting really improved, and then he came back another season and his 3-pointers were great. It really improved, and then he came back and he was even a better defender, and then he came back and he was a better assist maker, and every year got better and better and better and better. But see, the Orville to me, at my perception at the end of season 3, is that the Orville is kind of like Michael, just adding new components and getting better and better and better without really taking anything away, just adding more stuff and showing off more. And now we have to show off more stuff that's been added. Keep an open mind, sorry, but not so open that your brain falls out. Yes, absolutely, Nihilus. I think Claire said that, didn't she? Seth wanted to make real Trek, not parody. Yes, Phi. The humor isn't gone, but there were far fewer gaffes this season. I love them in the last episode. It returned to season 2. This reminds me of when we recently did our rewatch of Dark Matter. Well, not that recently. It was about almost a year ago, of the show Dark Matter with Joe Malazzi. And as season 2 and 3 progressed of Dark Matter, of course, we're still waiting for season 4, hopefully someday. But as season 2 and 3 progressed, Joe would put more little bits of comedy. And we even had a couple episodes that were quite filled with comedy. Like just life is real. Life has tragedy. Life is funny. Life is all these different things. And it's okay to have comedy. If like you guys were saying before, if it's organic, if it's not forced, if it's organic. And if it's organic, it's great. And if it's organic, it fits in anywhere. Listen, you can have organic in a dangerous situation. You can have organic in a life-threatening situation, organic comedy in a life-threatening situation. I often one of the series I most appreciate is MASH, because it had all these components, and these were people like who were, they're living in a war zone, and they're taking care of, they're treating all these casualties, and they're seeing death every day, and their release from death and all the tragedy they're seeing is their comedy and their zaniness sometimes. And you know what? Listen, life is like that. And if you talk to a lot of veterans, they'll say, especially Korean War and Vietnam vets, they will say, there's a lot of truth in MASH. There's a lot of truth in MASH, because when you see that gruesomeness and that difficulty and that those harsh realities every day, you need to release and go somewhere else for a while, right? And anyway, I'm starting to ramble. Um, Paramount had other ideas. Yeah, I love Mike. He can be contrarian at times, but I don't think he'd fake it to make it. Um, well, he's always done that, Aberjam. He a little bit. Um, a little. He likes being a little. He likes being abrasive and just being devil's advocate. Let's just say that. I'm not saying he's completely faking it. Um, but I wouldn't mind a better balance of both tones of season 2 and 3, but I do prefer more serious dramatic sci-fi that was this season. Well said, Medallion. Well said. Agreed. Renew the Orville now. Yes, Tokyo Trekker. The score this season, by the way, was phenomenal. Yeah, listen, that's a whole other ball of yarn right there. The music, wow. I hope we get more information on that. That was amazing, and Seth has been Seth has been, if I'm not mistaken, they have been recording for each episode. Uh, I think there's some original music, some new original music in each episode, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, listen. All these little things add up, and the quality ends up showing, and the viewing experience. It shows in the view. There's no freaking way there's no way this show is not getting season 4. It's freaking impossible. I heard Quentin Tarantino wanted to make an R-rated Trek. Is this possible? Yeah, they've been saying that for a while. I'm going to be completely honest. I think Tarantino's a good filmmaker, but my opinion on this is that it's possible he could do a good job with it. However, I think sometimes some of his films glorify violence a little bit, and it might be a little much for Trek. I would probably prefer not to see it. At the same time, I think he's enough of a good Star Trek fan to probably do a good job at it. So, well, who knows? Anyway, I'm saying two different things. The Orville is growing up. Yes, the Orville is growing up. I read somewhere that there may not be a season 4, but there might be a movie. Do you think a movie would resolving huge percent that we did? You know what? A movie doesn't make sense to me. There's and if you look at the Stargate franchise, they have done so much with television. Television and streaming is it can give so much more depth than a movie. A movie is so limiting. That'd be a mistake to do right now to do a movie. I mean, unless it was like a movie and then more seasons, but yeah, I think a show like this does not need a movie right now anyway. And I don't think they want. I think they want seasons. Seasons can be so much more profitable. I think it's especially with the new Disney Plus platform, and Disney owns Hulu pretty much now. So if I'm not too clear, even though Hulu might not stick around, but if I'm not too clear about this loose end, are we good to say spoilers? We don't want to be. You can. See, yeah, you said. I wonder what loose end you're talking about. To be honest, Tokyo Trekker. we're trying not to give too many spoilers here. We can generally, we're kind of talking very much in general terms. You can give a little bit if you want, but um, I mean, maybe enough for us to answer your question. If you want to ask the chat for clarification on something, maybe we can all answer it if you ask it in a more general term. Does anyone have any real idea what this show costs per episode? That is a good question, Shadow. That is a question I have for Tom. Hopefully, we get to talk to him soon. I do want to ask that question. I would imagine it's less than Discovery season 1. I don't know. Maybe what is it? Maybe like 5 or 6? 5 maybe? 5 million? I don't know. I'm not good with those things. I'm just a psychologist. I love Dark Matter. Oh, I love Dark Matter too, my friend. Yeah, real life contains comedy. I gotta say, the casting on Dark Matter. Wow. I love the casting on Dark Matter. And Melissa O'Neill has been, well, they have all been great. Melissa O'Neill was just so generous with us. And Joe, of course, always. I'm probably going to be heading off. It's getting late and I have to work in the morning. Medallion, thanks for hanging out. It was a pleasure to have you participating in the chat, my friend. Go get some rest. Have a good night, Medallion. Thanks for hanging out, man. But still appreciate this talk to share reactions for the finale. Yeah, we all appreciate it. Thanks for participating, Medallion. Thank you, my friend. Get some rest. Dark Matter was awesome. Yeah. Have a good night, Medallion. Yeah. Comedy gets you through shit. Yep. Good night, my friend. And rest of the Orvillians, good night, Medallion. Renew the Orville. Morville. Absolutely. Oh man, you can say that again. The music this season was amazeballs. The music took me back to Star Trek Voyager. The music of the family. Oh yeah. Great episode. Loved it. Fitting finish of a series, says Joe. If there is a season 4, they can concentrate on the Mocklins and Avis and Ed's daughter for a movie and the story. Yeah, there's so much to do, right? Right, Joe? I'm glad you liked it. That's awesome, Joe. I'm glad you finished it and you enjoyed it. We're still here, right? Bruce Broughton is a composer, says Fi. Oh yeah, thanks. Not everyone can do sci-fi. I think it's over Quentin's head, says Shadow. Yeah. Not everyone can do sci-fi. Listen, I'm gonna be completely honest. I find the third film, first of all, Star Trek, the second, the 09 film was okay, but the second one, J.J. Abrams got way too cute with Khan, and if he wouldn't have gotten that way, we wouldn't have gotten so cute. It might have been okay, but the parallels are just too much. And Beyond, I was thinking about Beyond. I was thinking about the third movie. Did not like the third movie. There was some really cool concepts in the third movie, but the story, I did not like the story in the third movie. I think it was lacking a lot. So, I just thought about, and I know it's coming out of left field, but you said Quentin, I was thinking about the Fast and Furious guy, the guy from Fast and Furious. I love the music when they return to Kalon space, some basic theme from season 2, but with an epic choir. Oh, was there a choir in there? I'm gonna go back and listen to that. Yeah, wow. That's great. Great soundtrack. Bruce Broughton's music was always had a Jerry Goldsmith sound to it. That's a good thing. Agreed, my friend. Then I'll say this. Last week, a certain someone threatened Ed about something that must have struck him right in the heart. That loose end. Tokyo Trekker, if it's last week, you can say it. You can say directly what it is. If it's last week, because I'm not. It's not registering for me. If it's not, I mean, if it's episode 9, go ahead and say it. Because that's episode 9. We talked probably, it's a lot. It's out there. I'm not like last week. I'm trying to think if anybody can help Tokyo Trigger here. I think it's a deliberate thread for next season. I'm just not. Maybe it's because I need sleep. It's not registering right now. Tokyo Trigger. A certain someone threatened Ed. A certain someone threatened Ed about something that must have struck him. Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Oh, Ed's daughter is a total. Yeah, it's deliberate. Yeah. Thank you, Everjam. Yeah, deliberate thread for. Oh yeah, for sure, it's deliberate for next season. Yeah, there's a lot to handle there. There's a lot that can happen with that. Yeah, that's a big well, yeah, that's a big unanswered question. There's that and this whole thing about the Mocklins and the Krill joining forces. I mean, how does that affect everything? I mean, what's happened now is that with the Kalon aligning themselves, it's brought balance to everything. But still, so there's so many things to explore. There's Ed's daughter. There's the Krill Mocklins. There's so many things to explore. I love the season they found. I love the season they try. I'm sorry, Joel. I'm sorry, Joe. I got to read this correctly. I love the season. They try few new stuff and tied up most stuff and leave a plot or two for a movie. Yeah, they've left a few things that are very important, but they've tied a lot of stuff down. I agree. The Kelvin films all have the same plot. Villain from another time wants to destroy the Federation for some reason. That's actually really well said, Nihilus. That's very well said. That's funny. Very well said. Yes, thank you, Everton. That's well, that's okay. I understand. Thank you, Tokyo, for I wasn't registering with me. Sorry, my bad. Hello, John Shark. Can the Kalon really be relied on, though? I was thinking what I found most unsettling about the Kalon was that they wield so much power, and even in today. Oh, I don't know. You should even say this. I'm going to say something in today's episode. Let's just say this. One of the things that probably concerns me a little bit about the Kalon is that somehow we would screw it. The humans would screw it up, or the Planetary Union would screw it up. The biologicals would screw up the relationship because it is a very binary decision for the Kalon. But somehow, what if the organics screw it up somehow? Because organics are imperfect, right? Kalons and Union could wipe out Mocklins and Krill. Maybe, yeah. Good to see you, Larry. Probably. Yeah. If they needed to. Maybe. And again, there's other races out there. There's Shaktal, there's Caliban, and I'm sure there's other races we haven't heard of before. Interesting. I'm surprised Ed didn't freak out more when they discovered Kayla. Oh, yeah, we're trying not to give too many things away tonight. Not being too specific about this last episode. But I agree with you, Todd. Absolutely. I am surprised. He did freak out a little bit. I mean, he was surprised. He was like surprised at first, right? I think that's how they're selling John Shark, a genuine trade part. Well, guys, I am running out of gas, and it's been an amazing night. Um, Good to see everybody. Yeah. Oh, Maria left. It was just for other people. But yeah, thanks, Todd. I appreciate it. Um, yeah. Um, but I agree with you, Todd. Yeah. Um, um, Dude, you haven't seen episode yet. Get Larry, get out of here. Leave. Leave and don't watch this. Don't watch. Get off of. Yeah, just get off of YouTube and social media. If you haven't watched it yet, I think you'll enjoy it. Um, yes, Cybergem. The Krill and Mocklins have a seriously. If you haven't seen it, Larry, you might want to depart from here. The Krill and Mocklins have a weapons edge on the Kalon and the Union. Do they? I don't know. Do they have? Do the Mocklins have a weapons edge on the Kalon, or are they just the biggest? Are they just the more advanced of the organics? I don't know if do they have a. I don't know if they have a weapons edge on the Kalon. You think so, Shadow? And most of the Union ships have Mocklins web. Yeah, and they got a lot of upgrade. The Union ships got a lot of weapons upgrades. In season 2, right? From the hmm, it made me think, Shadow. They got weapons upgrades. A lovely ride for sure, John the Shark. Such a good season. Rely on yourself, says Fi. The laughs is still there, just not as in your face like previous season. Yeah, they're still there. Um, Rest in peace, Charlie. Oh, gotcha, Larry. Okay, you got a lot to go. Um, I hope it goes. I hope it goes by quick, Larry. Um, all right, guys. I am gonna wrap up, and Larry, I hope it goes by real quick. I want to thank everybody who's been in here, guys. What a special night. Um, what a wonderful celebration for the wonderful fandom that is the Orbital fan community. Again, thank you, Seth and Tom and John and everybody from and Brandon and everybody from Orville Production for doing just the most amazing job and thinking of the fans and making a great story. 10 great stories. And the one thing Seth and crew understand, and let's not forget Brandon and Dave Goodman and Andre, and there's so many people involved. But the one thing that they understand is that good sci-fi brings out the best in humanity, and sci-fi is a great way to show the best in humanity, and that's what the Orville's about. And enough of the gloom and doom. From like some of other sci-fi, that's a lot of gloom and doom, and a wonderful picture the Orville does paint of the future and of mankind in general. So, guys, I want to thank everybody for being here. The last episode in the meeting with Talia and Mocklin Guy, she said Mocklin's had superior weapons, and Mocklin said the Creel had a superior fleet. Okay. Thanks, Shadow. Always happy to be here. Thanks, PJ and Galactic Union. Thank you, Fi, for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Todd, for being here. Thank you for coming in again, Todd. I appreciate that. Vampire Shift, Larry, huh? Well, let's hope you just got a little bit more to go. Thank you for being here too, Larry. And yes, always enjoy with you guys. Thank you, Todd. Always enjoy with all of you. Aberjam, Tokyo Trekker. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. Yeah, there's a lot of other positive voices out there. Thank you, Tokyo Trekker. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Shadow. Those are very kind words. Thank you guys for the kind words and the love. Um, if I didn't have anybody to talk to in the chat, if it wasn't for you guys, um, we wouldn't be here. So thank you, all of you guys. So let me say goodnight to everybody. Phi, Todd, Tokyo, Trekker, Nihilus Shadow. I don't think the mock weapons are superior in the other timeline. The Kalon destroyed Mockless. I think that's true, actually. That's a good point. They did destroy Mockless. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Celine, have a good start to your day. Todd, Nihilus, Tokyo Trekker. Who else was in here? Aberjam, Shadow, Larry. Good luck the rest of the work. Joe Lau, so good to see you, my friend. John Shark, good to see you. Medallion was in here hanging out with us. So thank you, Medallion, for hanging out. Who else? Let me go back a little bit, see who else was in here. And there you go. Thank you, Medallion, for hanging out with us. Great conversations with everybody. So Aberjam, Todd, everybody, Nihilus Shadow, thank you guys again. Have an awesome day. There you go. Pew Pew Monger. Yeah, see, a great end to the season. Have a good day, morning, whatever it is. Yeah, it's morning here already too. So all right, guys. Time to milk the cows. Have a great have a great day, guys. And spread that Orville love. Make sure you guys are using hashtag renew the Orville on social media. And let's get season 4 under our belt. Let's get that greenlit. Good night, guys. Good day, good morning, good whatever it is. Bye. Thanks for hanging out.